Hello. Today is Thursday, March the 5th. Actually, feel like I pulled this card. Doing some astrology tarot and then following the cards to see intuitive readings, intuitive feelings. And I see this. I'm live on 2 cameras, so sometimes I look at different cameras. I have music playing, and you can hear it on X, but you can't hear it on YouTube. So I'm going to shout out. This is Beata, Beata, Tribal Wisdom, Native Flute Soul Music for relaxation and inner peace. Beata. So let me start with these cards. I feel like this one is not ready yet. Okay, the first card is Geometric Coherence. Geometric Coherence, which is the Three of Cups or the Three of Portals. The second card is Direction and Delegation, the Sage of Light Codes, which I'm gonna, light codes are wands, and then the alignment of the heart, the worlds. So before I pull this card here, I'm gonna kind of look at them, all 3 cards, and see what I feel. Oh wait, it's Justice, not the world. This is actually the front of the main tarot card deck. Justice is Libra. The moon is in Libra right now. Let's see. 38, 34, and 11. 3 of Cups is usually related to connections, and it's related to like celebrations. So in this case, like I see the geometric coherence as community. Direction and delegation, the sage wisdom of the wands, meaning you are seasoned in kind of this fire energy to move forward. So through this energy of community, there's movement forward with direction and understanding that you've learned from your past. You can take your experiences and move forward. And there is justice from this. So justice is usually about the balance scales, but considering everything going on right now, let me see what the card is. I feel like logic and structure, the stage of activations. Let me check our. I just want to make sure that I've got 2 kings here. So this is the front of the tarot deck artwork. Unveiling the Golden Age. I'm just going to check on Sage of Activations. And I opened right up to it. Okay. Anchoring Light, the Sage of Activations. With clarity and authority, you can cut through the truth. The energy of this card is the wise, masculine, rooted intellect, and logical information. There is authority and clarity of mind that is not swayed by emotion, a cutting through to the truth. There is only presence of efficiency and impact. This card implies that for endeavors that require this type of energy, it may be a good idea to contact an expert in the field relating to the situation at hand. Would be a specialist, financial advisor, digital technician. Would be recommended to contact someone highly knowledgeable with a system of optimization. unlike the initiate of activation's energy, which has its place in expressive communication. This card is more logical and data driven. So it's generally, this is like the King of Swords, and swords are connected to like earth signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And so this is also, this direction and delegation is the King of Wands, the King of Fire, usually related to fire signs. So fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I have my cards as book holders here. Let's see, 34. Okay. Sage of Light codes. So if you more look at symbols, if you see any symbols in there in the card for your own reading, if like certain colors stand out, symbols, pictures that come through, that might be helpful. Direction and delegation, anchoring light. It's time to lead with clear foresight, maturity, and grounded inner fire powering your endeavors. Accomplish your goals by gathering and directing your support team lovingly. So this is like a call. There's like community, teamwork, something like that. This card is very yang presence or strong leadership qualities with the emphasis on delegation. Enlisting others' help. So both of these have a quality of enlisting help. Both of these want you kind of reach out to those who can kind of help move it forward here. So it is about leadership overall. There is a calm strength, determination, and charisma that others naturally gravitate towards here with this card. Direction and delegation. This card represents efficiency. Don't get caught up with distractions, sweating the small stuff, or spending energy on things that will not bring long-term gain. So this is masculine energy here. So I'm going to do a reading after this because I think this is for the divine masculine. So I'm going to do a reading. I'm doing this as like approach to like the twin flame energy. And so we start with divine masculine, and then I'm going to pull cards for the divine feminine. So this could be like for connections in your life or within the internal divine masculine, divine feminine within yourself. So a direct course of action or strategy is helpful with forging a path ahead. And here there is a theme of leaving a legacy. If you do not feel that you have these qualities right now, this card inspires you to consider that maybe you are a natural born leader. Perhaps you currently have untapped gifts in delegation and paving the way forward with others. So I'm going to stop there for a moment and kind of look at how these cards serve to bring justice. So it feels like leadership, community coming together in honor and justice. Justice. So let me just ask if there's like a timing here, because that's a big deal. If this phone falls down, it is what. Is there a timing thing here? So interesting enough, my cards fell, and I have two decks here. So I think this one's for the divine masculine right now, and I'll hold this one to the side because when it getting this ready for today, this side fell, or this side stayed up and the other side fell. And I think it's for looking at divine masculine, divine feminine for twin flame sort of energy. So this is the eye, the initiate of portals. Okay, let me read that. That is the Knight of Cups, 46. 46. Let me see. Da, 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 da. Open and curious approach life with innocence and willingness to see beyond the surface, assumptions and projections. A surprise opportunity may just be around the corner. You are invited to having an open mind, to be curious and cultivate your inner exploration around a current project or life situation. There's a high chance that you will receive good news about the surprise opportunity. I'm going to go a little bit further into this and see, because Izzy Ivy does visions. So her vision is about emotional activations, because this is water energy, but she drew an eye. So I don't, sometimes she writes the history as to why she painted these, but I see blue, green, and then a star. Um, so the thing that, and it kind of does also look like the ocean in the eye. So let me just do it this way. The roots. And I'm just doing it from the book. I'm just picking a card from the book. The roots in connection to this, like, take a chance and do something here. That good news is on the way. It's time to release something that no longer serves you. Take the steps necessary to tune in, let go of what's unhelpful, and return yourself to wholeness. And I kind of feel like sometimes I just kind of flip through and look at words that aura, roots, shimmering, darkness, activated frequencies, physical body, earth, light, brighter, phosphorescent. See, some of them she has longer vision, some of them shorter. Breathe, blinded by the light. So if any of those phrases stick out to you, this is for the divine masculine. So this deck was actually not the side that fell. So I'm going to put this to the side. This is the deck that fell, or part of the deck that fell. It's not as many cards. So I'm just going to really shuffle them up. This is for divine feminine. I'm going to pull 3 cards. 1, 2. This one, 2, and then I'll pull a clarifier. Action plan, 2 of light codes, which is the 2 of wands, 2 of fire. Attune and recalibrate, the 2 of activations, the 2 of swords, 2 of air. Rainbow portal, the paladin of portals, which I think is night. I think initiate is page. So the last one was the initiate of cups. Apologies. The last one was page. This one is paladin, which is night, which is rainbow portal, knight of cups. So I'm gonna read the headline for these 2, and then I'm gonna read more for this one in the book. Okay. 23 and 51. If you want to look at the numerology, if 2 plus 3, which is 5, means anything, or 5 plus 1, which is 6, or 4 plus 7. So the action plan, this card here, this is just the intro. The situation calls for a bigger picture perspective. Drop into your heart, assess your priorities, and map out a clear action plan to bring your dream life into reality. And then I'm just gonna flip into her vision part of this, and I'm gonna just look for keywords that I vibrant pink light, spark, tremendous surge of potential forward motion, suspended in space in this moment, shimmering tendrils of light wash through your entire being, activating your cellular memory and connecting you to the infinite life source. Energetic blueprint, archetypal energy, overflow, wonderful gift. So that's for this one. 51. Attune and recalibrate. A decision is to be made. You are torn in two different directions. So this one is the Two of Swords. So it is like the blindfolded woman, and then there's a moon, which I always read as an eclipse above her. So it's like she's going through the eclipse portal. Tune in with your mind, heart, body, soul, and bigger picture, then make your choice. So there's a lot of taking your time before you make a choice, and it's seeing the bigger picture and taking your time. There's choices to be made. And this moves me to 47. This is the Divine Feminine reading. Or if you're cross-watching for them. Paladin of Portals, it is time to bring your dreams into reality. Delight in the process. Stay in your heart and let this be a romantic adventure. So this could be romance. Whenever I see cups, though, I see creativity. So that is more like things that really spark joy. There is no hurry or stress. There is no hurry or stress. There is compassion and kindness for those involved. You have a balance of masculine and feminine, and you are getting something done on yang linear path, yet the yin delight of taking the scenic route. Okay, let me pull a card with this, because if it's new projects related to creativity, celebration, the Four of Wands. So this could be related to like all relationships, all connections. The Four of Wands is a very powerful card. It's the Four of Fire. And so 25, which is 7, 2 plus 5. I'm just going to read key phrases from it, keywords. And we are in a void moon today, so the energy is very like low key. Gather in joyful appreciation, friends and loved ones. Be aware of your loved ones' needs. Loving home, peaceful, balanced. Share the fruits of our, so there's the emphasis of our efforts with our loved ones. And blossoming, vibrancy, joyful energy, nurturing. So those are just some keywords from the vision. So I'm going to put all the cards together. So that was Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine reading, even though there's a lot of like warm tones here, definitely feels like there's more wait and see. Divine Masculine, there's a lot of more action energy. This is if you need a card, think of your question. Again, action plan. Two of light codes, Two of Wands. So back to the action plan might be rooted from advice from divine feminine energy or from your intuition. Let's get a clarifier for that. I will shuffle really well and think of your question. Actually, answer this. The eye again. So this was related to the initiate of portals. So this might be a summary of this was from divine masculine side or divine masculine side, divine feminine side. That this is actually the Page of Cups, not the Knight of Cups. So there is a fusing together of minds here. Water and fire. Interesting. Water and fire combining. So we are in a water season right now, and fire season is about to begin in a couple of weeks. The High Priestess. This is the highest form of intuition here from, I would say, more cosmos. Yesterday I felt this card was more water. I feel like there is more kind of cognitive, like mind body connection. So it's something that's going to be like in the meditation state, in just dream state, you're going to have some sort of aha moment where you're like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what the answer is. Any other? This says it's not ready yet. Think of any clarifications you need. I'll go over here. The lion. The lion is back. This is the Emperor. Now, sovereign cohesion. Let me read some keywords from that. Number 4, the Emperor, generally associated with Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. Keywords. Here's the key phrase. Honor your boundaries and maintain them with integrity. Lead by example. So there's 2 leaders here, High Priestess and the Emperor. Okay. Maintain appropriate awareness of dominance, control, possessiveness. Also, be careful of becoming overly caught up in strict rules, regulations, and rigid thinking actions. This author, Izzy Ivy, wrote how she came about painting this. So I'm going to read that. This image was created as a response to finding a center in the chaos, the paradox of maintaining sovereignty while cultivating healthy boundaries. It is also about dreaming in and supporting a harmonic crystalline coherence of the planet, which I pulled that 3 of Cups, which is like a matrix. So of the planet through community and maintaining balance, interconnectivity, where everyone thrives. From what they are uniquely and collectively here to do. Having boundaries may seem ominous if we are not used to wielding this power. The clarity of a well-held container imparts guidance and uncertainty, probably through, because I can't see with these glasses on. I know how weird that sounds. I can see here, I just can't see right here. Actually, communities can falter when there is no awareness of boundaries. When everyone has given everything at the beginning of a project, they will eventually fall into survival mechanisms or subconscious power struggles as they strive to regain inner equilibrium and maintain momentum. So I'll leave it there. But it's healthy forms of leadership from a masculine sort of perspective. And when we look at the lion, we think of what? Heart energy, heart chakra. When we look at this card with the high priestess, and she's numero dos. So let me look at that for a moment. I'm just going to read the key phrases. Even this book alone is just very helpful. Your intuition is strong, and you can bridge the seen and unseen realms. The answers you seek come from within. The veils are particularly thin right now, and your inner knowing is most accessible. So I think that part of this is this intuition leads to this action plan, this inner knowing, this inner voice, this inner calling. Ah, I don't like doing this, but I'm going to be a little bit mean. Actually, okay. In the UIP world, Lou Elizondo, people know who he is. He discusses blue as being bad. So I want to reference that because it's not. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Blue light is not bad. Blue lights in the sky are not bad. But why did that get discussed as bad? Look at what if you look at the High Priestess card in most tarot decks, she's wearing blue or purple or silver, usually in relation to kind of the energy of, the more feminine energy of the water. That's what came up when I looked at this card. Let me go back to the card. Let's see, what keywords stick out? So she painted this card. She said, just before my time on Mount Shasta in the forest with the magician. So she must have painted the magician before this card. It was painting live from start to finish. So she painted this card while just like in one painting, like one sitting. In front of many magical, mythical folks in a mossy fern forest at a beloved festival. And the veil was thin here, and everyone felt comfortable letting their most magical selves be revealed. There was quite the array of elves, fairies, magicians, priestesses present. It was an honor to create alongside the incredible musical vibrations that powered through the valley. If you want to read more, you can get her book, but she says this is the Lumerian High Priestess as a bridge between worlds. Let me look up Lumerian. Let's see, Lumerian. And everything. These are intuitive readings, so I just kind of feel where I'm supposed to go. Let's see if this one, Lumerian. This is from Paula Rattan, Rattan, Wrattn, the Lumerians. A lost ancient civilization continues to captivate spiritual seekers and historians. Highly advanced society characterized by profound spiritual wisdom and harmonious living. She wrote, "They are tall and graceful, slender and ethereal, radiant skin." Okay. Let me see where they're also known as Mu, a large landmass located in the Pacific Ocean, encompassing areas known as Hawaii, Eastern Islands, and other parts of Polynesia. According to various esoteric traditions, our channeled messages, Lemuria was an Indian civilization that thrived tens of thousands of years ago. According to various esoteric traditions and channeled messages, people believe that the inhabitants of Lemuria were deeply connected to the earth, the cosmos, and the divine, living in harmony in all life forms. And this is from Paula Ratten, WRATTEN.com. And she goes on to discuss Lemurian, um, even down to like certain crystal structures, healing of these crystalline structures. And she writes, in conclusion, the myth of Lemuria and its advanced civilization continues to inspire and guide those on a spiritual path. The Lemurians' gifts to humanity, spiritual wisdom, leading practices, and a deep connection to the earth serve as a reminder of potential to whether viewed as a historical reality or a symbolic representation. The legacy of the Lemurian calls us to awaken to our highest selves and contribute to the healing and evolution of our world. Again, I want to shout out the writer, Paula Ratten, WRATTEN, titled from May 31st, 2024, The Lemurians and Their Gift to Humanity, on her own website. And this is in response to reading this card, the High Priestess, the Wisdom of the Sacred Tarot card. So, those are the tarot cards. Today is kind of a low-key day. I want to get into reading some charts energetically. So I'm going to practice, and it might be a little harder for me because it's like really switching up the energy. But I was thinking about twin flames last night, and I realized I think that Hillary and Bill Clinton are an example of very public twin flames. So I'm opening up Hillary Clinton's chart and Astro theme. Bill Clinton. Let me see if it just goes to Astro theme. Bill Clinton's chart and Astro theme. So we're going to think about it from this perspective of like divine masculine, divine feminine. So whether we enjoy what they were up to or not, I'm thinking about this from the perspective of they are showing us a spiritual lesson in society right now. So Hillary Clinton, I'll start with her. She was born Sunday, October 26, 1947 at 6:45 p.m. She is a fire pig Chinese astrology zodiac. That's her Chinese astrology. And her numerology is Path 3. This is from astrotheme.com. She has her sun at 2 degrees of Scorpio, her moon at 28 degrees of Pisces, and her ascendant in Gemini at 11 degrees of Gemini. Her sun is in her 6th house of health, which is interesting. Her moon is right in her 10th house, at the end of her 10th house of public, like public, being in the public, basically. Her moon is right out in the world, even though she's got a water moon in the sign of Pisces that's very sensitive. She is right out in the world to be seen. And then her ascendant in Gemini is her ascendant is lovely for those who are actors. That's very, I'm not saying that it's just communicators, professional public communicators. So if like somebody who was like trying to start their career in acting, or somebody who was like, hey, I would love to be in communications, or somebody who is very relational came to me and their ascendant is Gemini, I'd be like, absolutely, like you were meant to be talking in the world publicly. And so she has her ascendant in Gemini, and then she has her Mercury and Venus conjunct in Scorpio in her 6th house in later degrees. She also has a natal Mercury retrograde. So whenever I see like a prominent, so her, because she's prominently out in the world and has a Gemini ascendant, we want to look at her Mercury, because Gemini's home planet is Mercury. So Gemini's home planet is Mercury. And see, so she has her, it's not quite a square. Okay, so I'm gonna say that it's a stellium. So she has her nadir, which is the deepest point, and on her nadir, it's in Leo. Mars, Pluto, and Saturn are in a stellium situation. Now, Pluto and Saturn are generational planets, but they're square her personal planets. So this is the same one. I did a reading on Peter Thiel, and this is how I kind of like formed sort of this is how we're going to look at the chart here. So the square is like a 90-degree angle. It's not easy. It's like sacred geometry. Remember, we are all, it's not just used by these evil people. They thwarted it. They know these things. They know astrology. They know mudras. They know these things. So it's not always when you see people in the public eye. We also have the ability to utilize sacred geometry. Please note, like, there's power to all of us. And so having her Mercury conjunct Venus square, just even if it were Pluto, even if it were Mars, even if it were Saturn, that would be hard because she has her Mercury and Venus in Scorpio and her Mercury's retrograde. If it were just square one of those planets, it would be a rough situation. It's square all three of the planets. Mars is the war god. Pluto is the underworld. Saturn, we gotta look at the fact that Saturn is supposed to be leadership. Saturn, in many ways, is supposed to be like healthy leadership. So, very powerful chart. So, let me look over at Bill's. Bill Clinton. Born Monday, Moon Day. So, she was born on Sunday, Sun's Day, which is Leo is the sun god, right, or sun king. So, he was born on Moon Day, August 19th, 1946. 8:51 a.m. in Hope, Arkansas. He is a fire dog, Chinese zodiac. He has a birth path 11, very powerful. Okay. Oh, my video just went out. My video just went out. Hold up. Like popped on and off. Okay. So, we have Sun in Leo on Regulus, 26 degrees. Regulus is a royal fixed star. In his 11th house, he's got a very public chart. There's as opposed to, like, say, Hillary, she has a very underworld chart. He has a very public in your face chart. He's got a steely young on his ascendant. That is very public. So, Sun in Leo in the 11th house, Moon in Taurus, square his Moon in Taurus, fixed sign Taurus in the 8th house. So that is also stuff behind closed doors. And he's got his Moon sorta near Algol, not quite near Algol, um, in Taurus, but in the 8th house, that's not an easy place to have your Moon. And then his ascendant is a stellium. He's got his ascendant conjunct Mars and Neptune, and I can even go out even further and say Venus is right there in Libra. So in society, he looks very balanced scales here, Bill Clinton has. And then he's got that Leo Regulus, so he is definitely meant to be a leader in his life. He's definitely meant to be seen. He's got Pluto. The thing that really so on the surface of his chart, he's got a lot of Libra. He's very, very relational. And his wife also, there's a nice coexistence here of his wife having an air sign ascendant in Gemini and him having an air sign ascendant in Libra. So that's also like really helpful. Um, So with his ascendant Mars Neptune, he can really zhuzh you. He can really he can make you I remember there was this, um I grew up in the DMV and there were, like, presentations of different, like, in different classes, and there was this one presentation in our social studies class, and there was a mother that came in that was a lobbyist because that's what they were, like, trying to get us to all be, and, she said that she had met Bill Clinton, and he had a way of making you feel like you're the only one in the room, and had a very distinct ability to do that, and that's Neptune, Mars on the ascendant. Now, behind closed doors, he's got Pluto in the 12th, which, I mean, if you wanna talk about things that he was involved in, it's very Pluto. I pull out this card, of course. Courageous alignment, the 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands is like competition. The Mountain, which is the Knight of Earth. So why am I pulling these cards for this? His North Node is conjunct Uranus in the 9th house. Let me look over Hillary's chart in Gemini. Oh, he's got his connection to Donald Trump on his North Node with Uranus. Now that is also okay. So interesting enough, Bill Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Donald Trump have a very similar connection in their chart. I don't think what year was were they born the same year? Donald, I think they were born the same year. Let me if I don't yeah, they were born the same year. So it's generational for them. They've got a generational connection. So their generational connection is North Node Uranus and Gemini, which let me look over at Hillary's chart, is on Hillary's ascendant, we'll say. We'll give it to them based on just their connections. And Bill Clinton's moon is actually on Donald Trump's Midheaven. So they are supposed to there's a lot of connections with these charts. Obviously, they're crossing paths socially, um, very interesting. Where I'm looking at is I wanna see the connection between Bill and Hillary. So, Hillary Clinton has her Mars, Pluto, Saturn on Bill's sun, but that Pluto is generational. The Saturn sun is she's in charge. Obviously, I think we already figured that out, but she has Saturn on his sun, so she is technically the one kind of laying down the law here. The thing that's helpful and harmonious is all the air sign points they have in their chart, so they're incredibly good at communicating with one another. She has her midheaven, across from her Saturn, Pluto, Mars in Aquarius, is in harmony to her ascendant, which is in harmony to Bill's node, Venus and Gemini. So they are intertwined. This is a very intertwined connection. And interesting enough, her sun in Scorpio trines his north node or his midheaven, so his career. So her solar soul path is actually in incredible harmony to his career path, midheaven, his life purpose. His midheaven is at 5 degrees of Cancer, and her sun is at 2 degrees of Scorpio. So she really does light up his ability because it's called a trine. They're both water sign energy. So his midheaven in Cancer is a water sign. Her sun in Scorpio is a water sign. And let me see anything else that sticks out to me. Her Jupiter in Sagittarius is very nice on the descendant. And she has her Jupiter in his third house of communication. So there is a very strong communicate like whether you like them or not, this goes to show you that couples that communicate can stick together. They can communicate here. They might even be telepathic. I know how weird that sounds. His Mercury is in the 11th house. Oh, I messed up. His Pluto's in the 11th house, not the 12th house. His Pluto, his Mercury, and his Saturn are in the 11th house, and that is about community. That is about large groups of people. And he has the ability to transform and communicate to large groups of people in the sign of Leo, which is like also very Zhuzhing sign with his ascendant in Libra. So his Mercury is in a very good place to hold status with his voice. And her Mercury is in a interesting place because she might have neurological stuff that occurs with her Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, conjunct her Venus in her sixth house. Sixth house is the house of health. So if she does, I she has passed out in the past. I do wonder if her Mercury is where she's the most vulnerable. So yes, these two charts together communicate incredibly well. Her separately, like if she had it, let me pull a card for her. Let me just shuffle cards. So look at these. There's something with her that's tough. MS or something about her Mercury. She inherited her Mercury. And this is Taurus, so she has a Mercury, Venus, and the Hierophant is Taurus. Now, it's usually associated with the Pope, but this is supposed to be Venus. So I was thinking about this card the other day because why is Taurus Hierophant a masculine card when technically it should be a Venusian goddess card? It's me. So there might be like neurological issues where she has like pinging pains, but it almost feels like she's very, very, very psychic, very intuitive. But it almost feels like when you see her kind of lose it, it's almost like if we do want to think that MK Ultra is a thing, it can be very much more easily downloaded in her encoding, which is why if we see her have a health issue, that's what's possibly possibly because she's got a T square. Not only so her Mercury, retrograde natal, and Venus conjunct or square are Mars, Pluto, and Saturn, and then her midheaven across from that it creates like a T square. So if I weren't to know somebody with this chart, I would be like locked into that Mercury Venus and be like, who hurt you? Has your health been affected by your trauma? Because her South Node is in Scorpio as well, and it's conjunct her Mercury. And so she's got a lot of karma in her life related to her and her Venus. That is not easy. She inherited this struggle. Something about, and I know that Bill Clinton had heart problems, which is very Leo. Leo is ruled by the pulmonary system. But her specifically, Scorpios, when we see health issues with Scorpios, it really has to deal with karma. Because Scorpios are lineage keepers. And if they don't evolve, they get kind of smacked. So I feel like anytime you see her have a health issue is when she's getting karmically smacked. It feels like it's actually not from the maternal line. It feels like it's from her father's line, but it feels like it goes back, like I would say, many, many generations. And she might have forgotten something that happened to her when she was 21 years old because her Mercury is in retrograde at 21 degrees. So I want to look at where it's like indicating when the trauma occurred. And she just shoved that shit and pocketed that in the back of her brain, and it makes her susceptible. So any cards around this? The staircase, the crystalline staircase, the Five of Cups. Losses, but there were gains. So it's almost like she might have felt like this had to happen in order for her to move forward. Sword of Assertion, Paladin of Activations, which is the Knight of Swords. She said it was like so lightning fast. So if we see any brain stuff with her, this is a possibility. The Mountain is back with the Seven of Wands. Competition. The Mountain is almost like this is not ready yet, but it's happening. It almost feels like somebody hiking a mountaintop or getting to the top of a mountain, but it feels like it's an endless fight or an endless battle. It feels like, "Is this over yet?" That's what it feels like when I feel this card. Like, "Is this over yet?" So that's their cards. That's what I've kind of intuited from their charts and their cards, I guess. And I just wanna ask what's gonna happen with these trials. What are we allowed to know? Heart and Sedona Vortex. So I think this is a collective reading of, like, what's going on with these trials and tribulations around the world. Sedona Vortex is the Knight of Cups, number 44. And number 45, the Ten of Cups. This is like light tribes, family, protection. I heard the word wisdom. So I do think that there's positivity here. I do think there's gonna be more of these sightings of orbs. I said a prayer yesterday that was like, I hope there's a large sighting of orbs to kind of allow us to all recognize that there's greater things going on in respect to, like, our hearts, our love, our awakening. Sedona Vortex. Let me just Google. I'm just gonna Google and see. So this is from Sedona Experience. This is just from a general Google. Sedona vortices are believed to be powerful energy centers where the Earth's energy spirals and flows in a concentrated manner. They are often described as geomagnetic anomalies where the electromagnetic fields twist and amplify, with surrounding rocks rich in quartz and iron oxide acting as crystalline conductors. The four most known vortex sites in Sedona are Airport Mesa, Cathedral Rock, Bell Rock, and Boynton Canyon, each radiating its own unique energy. The vortices, or vortexes, are said to promote healing, spiritual awareness, and deeper connection to oneself. And this is from SedonaExperience.com. Okay, so that is my live for today. Heart is about family, whatever family you're chosen, or bio, and Sedona Vortex. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Bye.